Yeah, you're right. He is on controller.
What's going on, guys? Reisshub back with another video, and in this video I want to cover Reet from the NA West region. He's been popping off lately, and for good reason. His fighting skills are absolutely insane. Just completely unmatched. I haven't seen someone fight like this on controller in a long time, so I'm going to be breaking down how he does it and how you can implement that into your own gameplay. Okay, so let's get in some fights and take some examples of things that he does that you should implement into your gameplay. Here you can notice as he's approaching the wall, he sprays it with his AR and manages to take the wall and place a floor to catch himself at the same time. Then does a mongrel classic and hits a fantastic 200 pump. Shooting the wall from far away is something that we see him do very frequently, because this shortens the time it takes between him first engaging in the wall and then being able to actually replace it, giving the opponent the least amount of time to actually react as well. He doesn't only do this with his AR, he does this with his pickaxe too. When he's coming from below, he'll jump up and do a side jump, pickaxe the wall once as he's going, and this still shortens the same time. He does the exact same thing while attacking the wall from above. He pickaxes it as he's falling, rather than waiting till he lands and pickaxing it then. This is great for higher ping players and lower ping players, but in particular for players who are around that 30 to 50 ping range where they're still trying to take walls as part of their gameplay, where taking walls quickly becomes even more important. Everyone should know this muscle memory and have this in their gameplay. This next elim, he gets the player boxed up under the ramp, and rather than flipping it, he goes round the side, edits a window, and look at how the positioning. He crouches down underneath, completely hidden, uncrouches and moves to the right, and then just slides to the left to get out of the way. A lot of players end up crouching again rather than just moving to the left, but this actually makes your walking speed a little bit slower and it makes you easier to hit. Next is how he uses crash pads. A lot of players, while diagonally crash padding into the box, will switch their inventory to highlight the crash pads, crash pad into the box, and then switch back to their shotgun or weapon to hit the opponent. However, what Reet does is he places a floor above his head while doing this, and then double jumps against it, which will instantly make him go straight into the box with his shotgun out, reducing the delay between switching back to his weapons. He does this a ton, and this is by far the most efficient way to diagonally crash pad into someone's box. You can do this from the front of a box too. All you need to do is just place a flat over your head. How he deals with opponents crash padding into his box diagonally is also quite interesting. He moves to the front and to the right of the box, because when an opponent crash pads in, he'll go straight to the back corner. So he does this and then can easily place a ramp over their head, preventing him from being boxed up. Then just simply double edits out. And in the same play, he does something that's very impressive. Firstly, he goes to the cone and wall, just like I showed in my double piece control video, which is nice, gets a great pre-fire despite the fact of being on left hand peak, but then does something he always does, which is what people refer to as the unknown classic. Cone floor the head, double edit down, place a cone, and shoot your opponents. In this example, you can see how he shoots the opponent inside the cone, places a wall in front of him. Not only that, he actually fully boxes the player underneath. It's very hard to see in this clip. There's actually two walls in the box, which if he hadn't one pumped the player that was down there, would have still completely boxed him in. This is actually just an insanely clean play, and he does this very consistently. In this next clip, watch his crosshair placement while doing a mongrel classic. It depends on which angle you're going to take this. Because he's taking a right hand peek because he's outside of the box, he can do this left hand edit. But notice the edit selection. He grabs from the bottom middle tile first and then pulls up, places the wall, and then his crosshair is already at head height, and it makes it very easy. He can either take a shot here and get a great headshot because his crosshair placement is already at head height, or just pull down and mongrel classic. If he'd started from the top left and pulled down to the bottom middle, his crosshair would have been at the bottom, and he would have had to readjust it before editing the ramp or taking a shot, which is hugely time wasting. These minor things on controller in particular really add up. These minor little efficiencies are things that make top level players different from the rest. It's not as important on keyboard and mouse, but these efficiencies will still be important. His crosshair placement isn't just great while editing, it's great all the time, in particular in the endgame. He gets 3 200 pumps in this particular clip. Just let it roll, just watch it, you'll see exactly what I mean, and keep an eye on where his crosshair is. This next clip shows truly how far ahead Reet thinks. he goes to the opponent to block him into this little section here, but notices that he's going to try and run down. So you can see him edit his own floor and look directly down to place his own wall in front. He does this a ton, and a lot of times does this because a lot of the players will not be able to block this wall as quickly as he will. Gets this, and if he's playing on a build fight where he's off the ground, he'll place a cone underneath, but in this case he's in a building. He then edits through, hits a max damage pump, unfortunately he's only got a grey pump, and then resets the wall. He immediately knows that the opponent will edit out to his left hand side, so he blocks that off and tries to place a cone through the little window. He ends up missing. He then tries to edit the original wall again, but unfortunately the opponent takes it back. And this is where we're going to lead into one of the other mechanical things that Reet does a ton, which is pre-fire shockwave nades. You can see as he shockwaves, he tries to shoot. In this case, he accidentally misses. But there's another example that we took from later on in the day, where a player, he had gotten weak earlier on, tried to shockwave out, and he one pumps immediately as the shockwave times, which you can do very easily just using your audio cues, and manages to pick up the elimination this way. Those pesky shockwave flares are extremely annoying, so if you continue to come across them, try this out. This next clip is something pretty beautiful, I'm not gonna lie. He starts this fight off with one player on the layer above him. So he flown cores, does the floor edit, and then places a wall above to stop the other player being able to take this wall. From what I've seen, he does this a lot in his games, but what he normally does here is places a high wall while side jumping and then jumps onto the ramp and edits through. In this particular situation, he knows the players drop down, so he looks as far down as possible because this will give him the furthest range to place this wall, and he manages to get it in front of the opponent. He catches himself on a cone, edits the window, places a cone through, and gets a nice 100 pump on the opponent this way. You can see him then reset the wall, edit a peanut bar peak, and what looks like a blank hit on the opponent, but still manages to place another wall in between him and his opponent, and edit it again, and then hit the opponent again. This entire combination is like a complete variety of skills put together in one. The retake with the double cone floor, with the wall above, taking the side jump, like that in itself is a good skill to have, but then also great tile awareness, placing the wall on the way down, great piece control to edit through, placing the cones, and on controller being able to reset the wall and then peanut bar edit so quickly as well. Another great mechanical skill. On top of that, he then placed that wall in between, like we said, and edited it while using long-range blueprint edits, which a lot of the top box fighters do and have. This is kind of something that's been talked about many months ago, but is still very, very prevalent and still clearly something the top players are using. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Catch you later. Peace.